Alright, I'm going to start here. This is a pile of insanity, but we got new commanders from the Alchemy set. There's honestly not many of them at all, really, except this one. That seems interesting. The rest are, like, completely insane. I mean, this one is too, but... Alright, well, it's a 4 mana 3/4, the Grand GOATnapper. Spells you cast have affinity for goats, so changelings are goats. Other than changelings, there's not many goats in Magic Arena. I mean, there's not many goats in general, but there are some. I don't think I'm running any, except the one that like makes a goat token. The rest, I think, are just changelings. There is like a 1 mana goat though that could be interesting. It's weird to play, let's say, a 1 mana goat instead of just Ragavan, which would do, arguably the same thing, if not more, but for the sake of the theme, I guess. And then you can tap this to target a non-goat creature, and it becomes a goat. So you can GOATnap your opponent's stuff, because you get a copy of GOATnap in your hand. So you turn something into a goat, and then you can steal it. Kind of interesting, I suppose. Active treasoning and then sacrificing the creature you steal is, it's alright. It's not like a brand new concept. It's been around for a while. But if your opponent doesn't have any creatures, you just don't have a commander, really. It just sits there. But with Affinity, you can at least go crazy. Like if you have 4 goats in play, suddenly everything is insanely cheaper. It makes Godo really, really scary. And it also makes Helm just castable for free if you have at least 4 goats. The scaling discount is bonkers. The rest of it's just kind of goofy, though. I don't know if you could play this with Storm, because you have a bunch of, like, awful, terrible cards in your deck. So when you try to Storm off, like you would with Rowan, the black-red Rowan commander, you don't have these dead hits that you're going to run into, but this deck you do. So there might be too many dead hits to Storm. But if you have enough tutors, maybe you can very reliably get One Ring Engine, especially with a bunch of goats, and then just discount them into oblivion and go crazy there. So like maybe that's a thing, but I don't know. I'm going to start with a more or non-Storm thing. Yeah, so you can also target your opponent's, you can target your own creatures as well. Someone was saying Bitter Blossom is kind of interesting, because you could make a goat every turn. This is like build your own rampant growth kind of thing that requires a 4 mana thing at sorcery speed. It's a lot. I'm not convinced about it too much. Oh, you know what? Maybe we can find room for Bitter Blossom, just for the sake of saying we tried to do that. Yeah, we can put these in here to maybe spam goat tokens slowly. But the best goat token creator is still Black Market Connections. But I don't know, we'll see. Alright, let's take out 2 cards. Dumpster queue, please. Please. Dumpster queue me. Okay. Let's get black, red, something. Do I want another land? Nah. So I can cast my commander next turn, and then really have nothing to do with all that, goat nonsense, actually. I just don't have anything to do with it. Alright. Yeah, I don't... There's nothing to goat now. Alright, well that would have been nice last turn. Let's get a... I could probably get a mountain. I don't really need to, though. I'm just gonna get a... that thing. Alright, we have 2 goats. We did it. We beat the game. Oh, my opponent actually played a tap land. Look at that. Alright, no graveyard. Not really a big deal, honestly. I mean, it sucks for my hand specifically, but... Alright, I'm going to cast it, and then I'm going to play a land, and then I'm going to swing for 2. Yay! It can make itself a goat, which is pretty interesting, I guess. Okay, they just aren't casting their commander. Alright, I have another version of my commander. Isn't that adorable? I'm gonna crack this Mind Stone, actually. Should have done that first. Okay, well. Let's get another mountain. And... I guess do that. Just to make it a goat. No. Let's... Alright, I'll do this one again. I'll do that one again. It's a lot of damage. Did I already play a land? I did. Okay. Alright, goat down. I can't do that again. So, there's that. Alright, that's annoying. But we'll see here. Wow. Okay, well, we just did stuff and my opponent couldn't stop it. Paradox? No, this doesn't really do anything. How enjoyable. Hey, they didn't swing with the, shepherd. I wonder why. That is nothing to be scared of. It doesn't matter, right? You just win when you cast a giant thing I can't deal with. So it doesn't really matter. Ouroboros is a rather surprising direction to go, in my opinion, but, you know, there you go. I can't actually kill it. I can steal it, but not immediately. So it can run away with the game, especially with the fight effect, and I can't do anything. Let's do this. I have a lot of mana with the engine, but I think I'm just going to cast my commander. And if they kill it, the game just ends on the spot. Spells you control have affinity for goats. Oh, I have a goat. It's right here. I'm an idiot. I'm like, why did everything get discounted? It's because I have a goat. Okay, that's neutral, so I can go black, colorless. 4, I can cast this. It is not a goat. Cast that. Unfortunately, this costs nothing, so now I can't do anything with it. Let's, tap Ouroboros? I can steal everything with the engine? Oh my goodness. That is the most... I can give this haste. Oh no, it's a goat. No! It's a goat! I can't target it. Oh, I don't have double black. Tragic. Can I get double black? I can. Oh, opponent. Well, I mean, they're just dead. Yeah, okay. I was just going to play Virtue before I went to attack. But they're just dead on board. Right? Because the power is equal to his power. Yeah, so everything gets +7/+7, and I have 4 attackers. Would you look at that? You beat Rofellos. Okay. Sure. Now, to be fair, I did need a removal spell. Otherwise, I was probably screwed, but I had it. Do I want to land? Nope. I don't want to land. Legion Loyalist. That is odd. That is a strange one. I guess I'll just entomb now. Get Crystal Brand in the graveyard. It's fine. Could have got Summon Bahamut for Persist. In what universe do you not cast a Johnny there? What on earth? How am I don't know what to think. I don't know what to make of that. Okay. Seems kind of weird. Maybe it doesn't. Second red source, it makes sense. I don't even know what that is. Exile all graveyards? What? What are we playing against? What is happening? I already have the Surveil land. What are you doing? What is my opponent doing? What is happening? I'm so confused. I'm so deeply confused. I'm not gonna play the One Ring yet. I'm not gonna play it yet. I could. No, I'm not gonna play it yet. I'll wait a turn. I'm just so confused here. I feel like they're just waiting for a second red source so they can always kill a Johnny when it can. Nope, they're just not casting it. Alright. I did, to be fair, cast Entomb, and my opponent had an answer to it. So maybe they're just, like, leaving up Scavenger Grounds? But is that actually what's going on? It's also kind of completely nutty to me to have Scavenger Grounds. Okay, they don't have white mana on this turn cycle. They'd have to cast a white spell on their turn to deal with this. Which is why I will cast it. They tapped out a white. I can't wrap my head around what my opponent is trying to accomplish here. This is just completely insane to me. Oh, whoops, I targeted the wrong thing in the wrong order. Yeah, I mistargeted it there. Whoops. Okay. I guess I'm getting in there with this 4-1. Yeah, I missequenced that really bad. But you know what? My opponent's giving me 1,000 years, so... Opponent, just take 4. Just take 4. Okay, we're not taking 4. We're just losing the board. That's fine. Let's name Demon, I guess. My opponent, I think, is like moderately obsessed with not losing to Griselbrand. But I don't know what else is going. Spirit of the Labyrinth just answers Griselbrand anyways. It's turn like 50, and I still think I can just lose in 2 seconds. No, keep it as a goat here. Do I cast it? Sure. Decline. I think I'll just play Willstrider. This is the farthest I've ever gotten into a game against a Johnny, and you can see how insane your Johnny player has to be for that to be the case. Unbelievable. Alright, that is the first time I have ever beaten a Johnny, and You see what your opponent has to do in order for that to be a thing. It blows my mind. I'm even playing against a Johnny. That seems a bit ridiculous. I think this is a bracket 5 commander through and through, but alright. Yeah, it's overpowered to beat a Johnny and Raffellos. Literally unstoppable. Well, there's no Surveil land in my future here, probably. Okay. Could just get a mountain. I don't think I want to cast my commander in the face of this mana. I don't think I do. Maybe it's fine. Because it's not like it's going to do anything, right? It either does or it doesn't, and they kill it or they don't. So I don't think waiting a turn or doing something else is inherently more valuable. They can also just not play a creature, and then I don't have anything to do. Okay, they did play their commander. Okay, sure. I'm a little surprised. A little surprised. I'm actually extremely surprised. Okay, so lead with... I want to target my commander, right? Target my commander, make it a goat. Steal your thing. Play that. Swing. Crack this first. Yeah, we'll still surveil. Gristlebrand, that can go to the graveyard. And then we scry. Very surprised they cast their commander, but I guess it makes sense to cast it. You have nothing else to do. Alright, I found Gristlebrand Reanimate as the 2 cards. That's kind of funny. And I have goats in play for the One Ring. And all the other funny things I might do. Goblin Grenade? Can this sack itself? Wait, where did that go? 1 damage to the goat. Okay, there's no reason that I'm not scrying. Alright. Well, we did a bunch of cool things, and now we're just doing this. Oh, I could have goat napped. Oh, I forgot. I could have goat napped and swung. Alright. Ah, that's funny. Let's play that out of the graveyard, I guess. Alright, we're just chilling. I did miss damage there. I forgot I could goat nap. But, I mean, I'm so far ahead. My opponent's a black-red goblin deck. I don't know what they could even do here. Taster of Wastes. Okay. Alright, they found an answer. They found an answer. I should have gained 7 life there. Okay, let's play the target your stuff game. I guess I can target Woe Strider as well. Let's, so we have 4 goats. We can play the One Ring. We can play Hoarding Spaghetti Lord. Yeah, I missed the attack. It is Convoke. Is that enough mana, though? It's not. Do I have a giant thing in hand? No. Saw in half. Sacrifice. In Virtue? Virtue's good here. At least I think it is. Just cast it full retail. Let's do this. I have 5. How many goats do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can cast this? Right? No. Let's get rid of those. Okay, well, we did a bunch of cool stuff. Oh, I forgot to sack that. It wasn't mine. I forgot. I forgot to sack the stupid thing. Okay. Forgot to sack it. Alright, there we go. I'm not gonna fiddle around, I'm just gonna swing for lethal. Land is ideal. Oh. How exciting. So I have 1 goat. Kind of surprised it didn't swing at me, actually. I would have swung at me. Huh, I don't get it. I have no way to deal with anything that I steal. Opponent, all your lands are every color. It doesn't matter. They're like manually tapped. I don't think it matters. They are just every color. You don't put Haro on top, do you? Why? Huh, I'm not putting Haro on top. Doesn't seem like really a draw that does anything. Let's make that a goat. Let's play this. And then make this a goat. And then this is convoke. 1. Okay, I don't know why I just tapped like that, but thank you. Let's get this. One ring engine. I shouldn't play this right now. I don't have more mana. I don't have more mana. I should not play that. Can I beat the One Ring next turn? No, not really. Like, I can't kill my opponent this turn, I mean. GOATnapper untap? But I didn't have mana to cast a GOATnapper. I couldn't cast GOATnapper. I can't target my opponent with that. I can take this, but I can't develop that mana. Do I need more goats? No, not really. Not for any significant reason. I can play a second land. Okay, they're just over it. See, I don't have a way to get through the One Ring. Tap the commander. Yeah, I mean, I eventually will start making everything goats and discount. Like, I don't have to go right into it. But yeah, I suppose I could have been tapping it each time. But I have the mana to do whatever I want anyways. I can't target them with Emrakul. I can actually, and probably will, have access to my entire deck. I think it's 100% guaranteed because I can always grab a GOATnapper. So, well, I can't always. I have to target a non-goat creature, so I would run out of targets. But that's enough. One ring tapping. I even have a tutor. So I can cast Ulamog here to get rid of the One Ring, and I guess also Training Grounds. Let's do... We can safely do red. Alright, I'm on the play against Pac. It didn't have a 1-drop. We have a normal game ahead of us. I can't imagine we're playing against elves, but that is an elf. That's pretty bold. Unfortunately, this is a legendary, so I can't copy it. I have Toxic Deluge for 3. Oh, wow, that's actually just huge. Yeah, I can't copy those. So Toxic Deluge for 3. Okay. Alright, get dunked on. Okay. This might end up mattering. It could end up mattering. I'm gonna play... Oh, okay. Just play it now. I mean, it's probably an instant... Yeah, it's an instant answer anyways. I was trying to bait them into casting spells on their second main phase. What the heck is this? Okay. I draw literally nothing. Is this a... Nope. Okay. Kind of surprised to see Ristic Study. I can saw in half my commander? Oh, jeez. I mean, I might as well. Okay. Well, I sure did that. Here's what, like, the magical... Never seen it before. Pyroclasm just comes into play. Alright, looking for lands. Pretty sure there's a Mox in there. If I'm paying attention. Yeah, it looks like there's a Mox. Because of course there is. I don't know why they're not casting them. Well, the Mox cares about their... Alright, so let's do this now. On... It doesn't really matter what I target. I guess I could target this first. I gotta be a little careful. Because of the Ristic Study. And then I can target something else. And, no, I want to keep that cheap, actually. I want to keep that cheap. So I'm gonna respect the Ristic Study and stuff. Okay, not the Mox I was expecting, but Mox nonetheless. Helm of the Host. Can I kill my opponent if I steal Vivi? Six, 7, 8, 9, 10. Doesn't look like it. I could cast Helm and make a copy, but don't really care about that. Whoa, that is not the right spell. Let's do this. Sack that to itself. Alright. Get wrecked. Had enough removal that it couldn't do anything. They probably needed to wait even longer, but they were kind of running out of time. I can't think of a 1 mana one. Tamiyo. Let's play Arcane Signet. Guys like my mono green impression. Do I cast my commander next turn? I guess? Sure, why not? Let's get a mountain. This costs 2. What does this actually do? Could a counter on it if it doesn't have one? Okay. So they're trying to get like... This makes the Ambush Vipers, right? Snake spell, Ambush Viper, yeah. Snakes. Love it. Is there any reason to goat nap anything? Not really. I guess I can just goat nap for the sake of it. What does it do when it enters? Yeah, we can just goat nap for the sake of it, I suppose. But I can't sack it. I could have maybe just waited on that. I don't know. It's not the craziest thing to... It's hard to swing at my opponent with ambush vipers everywhere. Alright, I'm sure they named Snake. What kind of snake thing is there that you want to trigger with this? What are you trying to do with snakes that this cares about? I have no idea. I have no idea. Alright, well, I'm just going to go ahead and do this. Suppose I will swing and ask my opponent what they're going to do. Still mono green. Still mono green. Rona's Monument does not make snakes. Spell can't be countered. Wait, I have to read this? Becomes a 4/4? Okay. What else does this do? Nothing? Alright, let's chump block. We're gonna have to deluge this, unfortunately. It's way too much damage. Okay, is there any reason to tap this first? I guess I can get more damage in if I go this route before I do anything else, right? I don't want to animate my thing. That's actually a lot of damage, too. That's actually a lot of damage. Okay. Deluge for 4. One, two, three, four, 5. If I could have cast my commander this turn had I played slightly different earlier, I think. Oh, maybe not, actually. It still only costs 1 mana. Yeah, never mind. It doesn't work. I have the snakes taken care of, but I don't have, like, lethal or anything. I also don't necessarily have the snakes taken care of, but, you know, stuff is happening, is my point. Interesting game so far. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of snakes in my future. Yep. Whenever you cast a snake spell, conjure a... Okay, so we fatal push that one. We have to block with this at least. And then I go to 2, go to 1, tap that, steal that, still die. It's my best bet, because otherwise I've got nothing anyways. This is my best bet. Keeping my commander around is better than not keeping it around, so... this would have won the game, but now I'm dead to Bitter Blossom, which I cannot get rid of. I can steal one of these, and then Goat Nap once on the flyer, which is only 3, it's 4 damage, it's 2 off. I can't target. I can't repeatedly, Yeah, alright, there's no way to do this, because I can't get 2 spells on top of the GOATnap. And I can't tap enough to do anything. Yeah, alright, they got me. Cool game. Close. If I blocked it differently, I couldn't cast this. But yeah, I can't stay alive. Alright. Yeah, the Ronus monument was too much trample. No? Sure. Bitter spaghetti? Of course not. Oh. Oh, they didn't play Overlord, so I guess this doesn't work. Bask in my goats, opponent. Bask in my goats. It did work. I guess. Sure. That is a very interesting decision to do with that card. I will say that. Go for it. So let's can I play this? Yep, and then that. This. Can I play both? That is so gross, I can't even comprehend it. What I just did to my opponent there. What if I saw in half this? Sawing in half it isn't great because I don't really get anything. Right? It's only creatures and a card in their graveyard. I'm going to saw in half it anyways because I want to. There's nothing else to saw in half. Okay, that was just completely gross. That was absolutely disgusting. If my opponent knew that's how it worked, they probably wouldn't have played it. But, oops, I just completely undid everything they did that game and then won. Alright, we had a game. I felt like it was going to be a non-game where they countered everything I did and nothing I did mattered. Any game where your opponent doesn't have a lot of creatures feels like a non-game. That's why I said it, because I don't have anything to GOATnap. And they could keep the board empty for when they just cast their commander, and then I can't, like, GOATnap it, because this is only a sorcery. That's why the control decks feel like I barely have a game, but... Alright. Doing that. They mulliganed to 6 as well. Oh no, they went to 5. Which doesn't surprise me. I feel like this deck is asking for the same thing over and over. I don't think Saw in Half does anything against them, and I'm not gonna assume I can steal their commander. Seems rather unlikely. Let's go to Mountain. They can pretty reliably kill my commander too, which, again, I don't think is actually doing anything in this matchup here. Well, that would be good to... Okay, I was about to say, that would be good to kill. I think I'm going to cast my command... No, I could just tutor, actually. With Beseech. I'm going to snuff that out. And I'm going to do it now. I'll just cast this. I'll just cast that. Yep, okay. I mean, they mulliganed to 5. I assume this matchup is all about trying to cast this. I set them back, and that's just about it. Essica? Wow. Okay, well, I can't really interact with it, and then it just plays a bunch of planeswalkers, which I can't really interact with. So there's that. I feel like this is a bracket 5 commander I shouldn't ever see. Ah, just in time. Just in time. I don't think my commander does a single thing. So... I mean, I guess I still cast it. I don't know. Cast it and still lose, I guess. Oh, damnation. Just in time. Just what I wanted. Let's do this. Let's play this. I can play this first. It is a goat. Which might matter. Let's play that. I could cast the One Ring. I suppose I will cast the One Ring and just draw with it. Oh look, it's Faithless Looting. Just what the doctor ordered. Close to having Insanity, but not quite. Not quite. Okay, that helped tremendously. Let's... Oof. I don't have it, do I? No, it doesn't look like I do. Let's do this. Oh, no. Now I have to think. There has to be some kind of way to win here. Black. I refuse to believe I can't win from here. Sacrifice engine. Oh, man. Get rid of you and you. Let's make this a goat. Tap that. Wow. Well, that just happened. Tap all that, tap that. Beautiful. It's weird it doesn't Auto tap the signet. I guess that's not that weird. Okay, let's go find Godo. I mean, I could sort of win with anything, but... Oh, I have Helm in hand? Okay. Where is it? Did I discard it? Where's Helm? Is it in play? Oh, I'm just dumb. And then... I guess just play it safe to... I mean, they're auto-yield it. I don't think I have to do this. But I guess it would help in the case that it matters. Okay, we can go to combat. Oh, the original Godo has haste. That's hilarious. Alright. Get wrecked, Essica. I just did nonsense. Look at that. Alright. I was actually going to play more Pauper, but I didn't get on in time. Ruined everything. Yeah, so... the rope does put pressure on those kinds of turns, where you're trying to, like, hoarding Broodlord, think about lions that win. But it's not too difficult to win with this, I guess. So it is, in some instance, kind of like Rowan, except it discounts artifacts as well. I think Rowan is just black and red spells. So, really the best thing this is doing is getting people by surprise, and also having these, like, one-ring engine lines. But sometimes you can just win out of nowhere. If you have enough goats, Gilgamesh could cost very little, and then you can just go right into a Helm with, like, what is it, at the lowest 6 mana, which is really good. You could do that almost the turn at, well, probably never going to have that happen, but with black market connections, not that this card needs any assistance, you can do that very fast. I only had, like, what, 1 or 2 games, if that, where straight up hard casting a giant dumb thing was somewhat possible, like just drawing Ulamog and just hard casting it full retail, or not full retail because of the goat discount. It almost happened a couple times. I also didn't give Gristlebrand haste once when I could have. That specific game, I suppose it didn't matter, but you can discount stolen spells. So, like, Wrench is interesting. I never actually cast this, but the thing with stealing random spells is they're random. And while you see a lot of them, you don't, for the most part, see anything that, like, helps your game plan. You're kind of just looking for, like, randomly generic high-value targets and stuff. Like, against, let's say, Rofellos, you steal, I don't know. I don't even know. But it would be discounted for your goats. You can, I don't know if I said this, but you can tap this to target itself, and that becomes a goat. You cannot target a goat with this, so once you make something a goat, that is the last thing you can do. You can't target it again. So you always need new targets, which I don't believe ever came up. But it does still feel like opponents that don't have a lot of creatures, or really any creatures, I'm not really doing anything. Now, I did beat a couple opponents who were doing that, where they just didn't have many creatures at all. But I'd say for the most part, that's not that realistic. But if you feel like you want to have more play against not trying to target your opponent's creatures, you could probably get rid of some of these things. Like, really didn't even cast these that much. these cards here. Really just didn't. Chthonian Nightmare, what's another one? Never actually cast that at all. Saw in Half was kind of funny, I guess. Making fairy tokens goats wasn't that exciting. I mean, it's just so slow, right? It's insanely slow. But when it's working, you know, that's cool. It's like, it's kind of cool, I suppose. I'm not discounting that much, though, in this deck. Oh, there's also the sack lands, the lands you play to just sacrifice, like High Market and Phyrexian Tower, which I suppose the deck did not actually start with. But yeah, these cards didn't feel that great, really. I think Annihilating Glare was okay. I had one a few times, like one of these, and I stole my opponent's like Vivi or something and killed it with this. So like they weren't completely useless or anything, but they didn't feel that great. I mean, sacking your own tokens is fine, right? Just casting them normally. You could just cast them in a different way, like discarding or sacking something else if you don't have your commander. It's obviously not where you want to be, though. I liked the top end. I did actually not... I took out Sneak Attack. I did not end up liking it. I had no more, like, Annihilator attackers, so it's only really exceptional with, like, Gristlebrand, and the rest are just kind of... they just show up and they swing, maybe. With Godo, you can do the combo for 6 mana with Sneak Attack, to be fair. But I'd almost rather just, in that spot, and maybe even some of these spots, have a tutor. If all of these were just more Diabolic Intents, we'd be so happy. But they're not. If you could... yeah, just like more tutors and lean more into this. No one's probably going to expect you to do this, right? At least until this deck becomes maybe more popular, which I would be a little bit surprised to see, but, you know, it is a black-red deck after all. So yeah, maybe that. I don't really know what else, though. I took out the 3-mana goats. Could put in more. There's one 1-mana goat I was not running. I guess you could play that too. I suppose the sweepers were fine, because I can play them before my commander shows up. It does make casting any goats before that point really miserable, though. Chthonian Nightmare just has so few targets to reanimate. It's still a sack outlet for stealing your opponent's cards, but still, I don't have a lot I'm actually doing with this, which I guess you could sort of circumvent. You could put the 3-mana goats back in, I guess, if you feel so inclined. But it doesn't do anything unless they're in the graveyard, so they would have had to have been milled or discarded or just simply died or something. So I guess you can recur after you've cast Damnation or something? I don't know. Maybe there's better sack outlets than these. You don't need 15 goats. Even one goat is a significant discount on your spells. Like, all of these cost 1 now. All of these cost 2. So on and so forth. So, if you just have 2 goats, a discount of 2 is massive. Right? It only starts to, like, become not super noticeable when you're casting these, like, super expensive spells. Like, you know, Summon Bahamut or something. This going from, like, 9 to 7 is nice, but it's not, like, the craziest thing as this going from, like, 3 to 1. So, the more expensive it is, the less impact you have the goats. I think I am going to try this again, and I'm going to do a Storm thing. Like, do I have the Roman list? I might not even have it anymore. I might have deleted it. There's a good chance I don't... Oh, it is here. Sweet. Ever since Vivi showed up, I don't think this is that exciting. I mean, it can still... Oh, it's got Chromebox. It can still, like... Does it have Gemstone Cavern? No, it doesn't. I guess I could add that. This is more vulnerable than VV because it doesn't do too good of a job at protecting itself. But you untap with it, and then you ideally win when you untap with it, right? You don't want to take more time than that. It's kind of like, I must win the turn I cast it kind of thing. I don't think this deck likes Paradox Engine, because the discount is just forever on this, and you don't really have any mana rocks to untap and spam. But I guess you do have the One Ring, and just simply casting spells would untap this over and over, I suppose. And there are tutors to do that, so maybe you could play that. Oh, I could have actually been playing Creation of Avacyn. Yeah, I could have played that in the GOATnapper deck, actually. But yeah, you really want to just untap and win, and it costs 3. So that is nice. But the difference between this one and the GOAT is, from a Storm perspective, is you have like these in your deck, and these don't really help. Now this isn't, you play it and then you have a discount of 1 forever, because it itself becomes a GOAT when you target it. But I think you're going to want more than just a single discount on your spells to go crazy. But with like the treasure spam stuff, there really might be something here with goats. I don't know. That's an interesting thing. I'll have to look at that. I mean, I love Storm decks a lot. There's like so many different lines to take, and I'm just a huge fan of these kinds of decks, honestly. So it's nice to have another commander to think about. I mean, it's a little crazy to try to goat storms. Just the old goat storm. But you never know. You know, it's there could be a world where like this is a thing. You probably don't actually play Rowan. This would look radically different. This also looks very different. It doesn't even have Entomb or anything. Yeah, this is kind of outdated a little bit. Yeah, I mean, just looking at this with this in the command zone, discounting all of this by 1 is not where you would want to be with Rowan ever, and certainly not with a 4-mana commander. So it's even slower, which is not ideal. So I think you still want mana rocks, so you have to have like a wall of mana rocks. You want probably some amount of goats. You can target this itself, and then goat nap maybe your opponent's creature or something if you don't have one, and then that's another discount. And then let's say you have a discount of 3. Rowan very easily wins with a discount of 3. And it also can pretty reasonably win with a discount of 2, but most of the time you want it to be 3, and it's not difficult to make it 3. At least not that difficult. There's like a lot of things that make it 3. So the idea is 2 or 3, mostly 3. If we could get 3 goats in play, then we can probably just go crazy. And then the question is how you get to that point. So you need this and then 2 other goats. This is way slower than Rowan and fills your deck with things that just get in the way of storming off, which are like do-nothing goats, and unfortunately probably mana rocks too. But that does unlock another combo in your deck, which is Paradox Engine, because you have so many mana rocks, assuming that's where you go, and you probably should. So, I don't know. Something to think about, though, you know? Goat Storm could be a thing, so buckle up for that. I'd like to put thought into that at some point. I'm more excited to talk about that than I am what I just did. But yeah, this was, you know, the combo is nice. Tutors are nice. The goat gotcha is, I must admit, a little bit better than I thought it was. The things I beat that feel unbeatable, my opponents just kind of fizzled out. Like the first Rowan player I saw, excuse me, not Rowan, Rofellos player just fizzled out. The Ajani player, which I think that was the first time in my life I've actually beaten Ajani in Historic Brawl, not playing a bracket 5 commander myself, and they just fizzled out. So I would say the green things while always present something to steal, are so fast that by the time you steal anything, it's too late to like have a board state that it does not seem like I'm having a back and forth combat thing with any player. There was one player who were playing snakes, right? Snakes on a plane, and we had a back and forth against a green deck, and it was cool. It was cool. Life totals were going down in chunks, and there wasn't this like I play cultivate, I play 5-drop win. So that was cool, but that's not the average thing, right? Like you play against Pock, sure you could steal it at some point, but the damage is already done. Ideally, if the Pock player plays it in a spot that maybe makes more sense than the person that I was playing against. So we did beat the things that I feel are awful matchups, but I think it's because my opponents just played in a way that let me have a chance, where I otherwise probably don't. And the same is true for like control decks, where they just don't have a creature, and then you're like, oh, I better find some goofy storm thing on my side. So, yeah, I'm gonna reassess it. I'm gonna reapproach this commander in the future at a different angle. But I like it. It is cool. It is a cool commander. It's enjoyable to play. It's easy to get confused with goat naps and targeting creatures, so watch out for that. I've learned a little bit from playing it. But I like it. For a new commander that's from a Hearthstone goofy thing set, I think it's pretty cool. Doesn't break the game or anything, and we'll see what the rest of them look like if I end up playing them, but this is far and away the most interesting one of the bunch. And yeah, so we shall see. Let me know what you thought about it. Like, comment, subscribe, and give me more goat nap ideas that I didn't think of for the future. Alright, get out of here.